Welcome back, talkers. Welcome to our second episode. If you haven't watched our first episode on Heritage Day, please go back and watch it. Today I've got my fellow co-hosts, Sam. Hello, Sam. Nolu Nolus.
Hey.
And Junjuns.
Hi.
Guys, Sam is our food maker, right?
Food guru.
She feeds.
Food guru.
And her food is like sugar-free, but look at this, hey?
So yummy.
It looks so yummy. Bessie, not for you.
Junjuns.
And Junjuns makes sure that we are in shape. I must go.
Yeah, she's our fitness freak, and she's the one that's trying to convert me because I'm not the healthiest out of this group. Onto the healthiest
But she's
side
a
of
beast
mine.
in the gym. We've been there.
Yeah.
We just try and keep it healthy and sustainable. So Sammy takes all our recipes, South African recipes, very high calorie recipes, and then she makes it into something yummy for us that we can
And
eat.
sugar free, right? This is sugar-free.
And vegetarian because Nolu is vegetarian.
Yeah, health. But now, this is not about eating. I know we love to eat, but it's actually not about eating today, is it?
No, today, guys, we're talking women and femininity.
So welcome to our slumber party.
It is our slumber party.
That's why we're in the bedroom.
And there's so much misconceptions about femininity. So what's your take? What is your view on what is woman femininity?
Oh, for me, looking at femininity, for me, it's complete and utter confidence. When a woman, you can wear what you want, you can do what you want, but if you have confidence when you're out in public, your femininity shines through. It's just something that happens. So for me, confidence is key, completely.
Yeah. I think I have a lot of misconceptions around femininity, to be honest. Because I was taught femininity means being very soft-spoken, very nice. You know, the nice girl that's wearing pink clothes and flowy dresses.
And flowers.
I have a literal image of what a feminine woman looks like. So I think, for me, I have a lot of misconceptions around femininity. Even with confidence, it's like you can't be too confident because that's not feminine, right? It's like, I know, right?
Yeah.
We all,
Because then you look too powerful and you're too intimidating.
and intimidation is not feminine. So
Yes.
yeah, I think I have a lot of misconceptions around it like that.
I don't even know if it's misconceptions. Maybe it's actually how it's been viewed, hey? Because when you say you're feminine, everybody's like, ooh, little flower.
Exactly.
You can't do anything and not acceptable.
Yes.
For me, maybe looking at it, when I look at femininity, it's I take my own personal style and I try and make it in a feminine way. So when we're looking at how we dress, when I feel feminine, it's not necessarily always in the stereotypical floral and bows in our hair, but when I do, I love exuding my femininity in my outfit. So whether it's a leather high-waisted skirt or my hair's done and I'm wearing red lipstick, for me those elements have always played a part in, you know, sort of my day-to-day life. So for me, it's not about necessarily the stereotypical things. And listening to you guys and having a brief conversation, it was that maybe the things that I choose to wear, because I'm very androgynous. Oh my goodness, get that word. Androgynous.
What is that? It's such a big word.
So for me, it's taking sort of male stereotypical outfits or pieces and using them as a woman. And I don't do it because I want to be masculine. I do it because I want to show them I can wear it better than them, basically. So I love ties, I love shirts, I love suits. Suit is my go-to, pants are my go-to. You'll see out of all my wardrobe, I levitate to pants more. And it's really not even a thing of being masculine. It's actually just taking my femininity and translating it into another space.
Yeah, and that's so funny because when you say it, for you it doesn't feel masculine to wear a tie.
No.
If I was to wear a tie, I'd feel like I'm being super masculine.
Yes.
I'm being like a guy. And I think even my behavior, my demeanor would change because then I'd be like, you know, and I find that does happen a lot.
I'd be awkward.
You'd feel a bit like out of it, right?
I can't pull it off.
Yeah, and to think that for one person, femininity could still be dressing in that androgynous way, and for another you feel it's too masculine. You know, do you find that sometimes though, if you're in a space, especially when it comes to work and the boardroom and corporate or, you know, anyway, actually not just the boardroom, but if you're in a space where you want to look powerful or come across as strong, do you find that you dress in a more masculine way? whether it's the colors, whether it's the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
You know, do you find you do that? Like you have a power suit?
You know, for me, especially, I've worked a lot in corporate, and I find that power in those spaces is respected when you look a bit more masculine. Because historically, a male figure was powerful. And when you are more male, you know, there's an article, there's actually an academic article that talks, think male, think power. You know, so that is what power was defined as for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you come with your femininity, as we define it, you're not respected in those powerful spaces, or you're not heard. When you come in, you know, when you get in a board meeting or a meeting, you are assumed to be the note taker, the minute taker, the secretary. That is the, you know, anytime you look feminine, it's viewed.
But does
like
it help? Because I really in corporate are women respected because they dressed in a power suit. I don't think so.
I think sometimes it does help.
I think it can make you feel more powerful, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it changes the mindset of how men see us in the workspace.
Yeah.
For me, again, guys, I think I'm going to play double-sided on the fence
That's
here.
fine.
For me,
That's gents.
if, again, it comes down to my first comments about being confident, I could walk in a floral from head to toe, but the way I assert myself, and it might seem to others that I'm trying to be masculine, but it's only in that space. When you walk in, it's walking in confidence and knowing that I know what, it's understanding that you add value to that conversation. And I think a lot of us come from a position of, and maybe because, again, you guys are opening my eyes to seeing things in a certain way. I've maybe because I've always been somebody that's been sort of a fighter, that I see a situation differently and I assess the situation differently. But in turn, I don't lose my femininity. So you sort of balance both scales. I would walk in floral top to toe, but in no certain way would I address myself that they would think that I would be the minute taker. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does it make sense in a certain
So
way?
you're saying it doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you own your space, then others will respect you.
And I think it's sort of like a
Or see that. So if
primal-
you value yourself, then those people you're sitting around the table with will value your opinions equally.
Correct. I don't think it has to be something as outspoken and in your face. It's a subliminal thing. When you walk in and you shake, for me, and it might seem a very manly thing, but when I look at someone and I shake their hand, I don't shake their hand like a woman would. I go in and I go and I shake someone.
But what does that even mean? Because I think those are the areas of, like, you know, run like a woman, punch like a woman.
Yeah.
She walks
Fight
like
a
a
girl.
woman.
I should be able to run like a woman. There's nothing wrong with
And
it.
shake your hand like a woman. What does it mean?
But I find
Wait,
this.
she's gonna do a demonstration.
But give it. You give someone.
This is how I just.
You give your eye contact. For me, that's another subliminal that I can be trusted.
Okay, I thought you were
know what
literally
I'm.
like pinch my hand.
No. I give a
from
firm handshake, and for me, it's walking in and going, I own this space. I've got something to offer everybody. I might not and that's what I want women to understand too. You might not have a PhD. You might not have a doctorate, but when you walk in, you assume a certain power in your femininity. And that's why I think I don't have that tug of war when it comes to the boardroom, because whether I'm wearing floral or I'm wearing my suit or I'm wearing my tie with a waistcoat, I walk in as a woman because my hair's curly, my eyelashes are done, my lips are done. I'm a little bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a mystery because they're like, oh, okay, if it walks like a duck and talks like a, quacks like a duck, and it's like, and then she goes, woo, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's for me, it's like,
your experience is very, it's very different, because you might come across to people that don't know you as strong and masculine, but to you, you're not doing it intentionally, and you're not trying to be masculine. You're just saying, if you're strong, just be strong, and that's it, right? So, and your experience is the society sometimes judges femininity. Yeah. So do you find that sometimes women amongst ourselves, we judge each other based on, like, whether you're feminine enough, whether you're not feminine enough, whether you seem masculine, like, oh no, she's like those tough women. She's like a soft woman. Do you find we do that a lot? We judge each
On
other?
a broader spectrum than even just how we dress. I think so many of our decisions, we as women polarize each other. The woman at home versus the woman at work. The woman who's feminine versus the woman who's more masculine powerhouse personality. Just how we raise our children, we polarize ourselves. So you breastfeed, you don't breastfeed, you deliver naturally, you chose a Caesar. And I just think if we are going to walk into spaces where men are going to accept us, we need to start accepting each other's choices first.
And respecting each other's choices.
Respecting each other's choices.
Yeah. And you said something, and I think sometimes we don't notice, it's in the subtle things. You said we judge each other, the feminine woman at home or the powerhouse woman. Why is it that it's feminine against powerhouse? Why is femininity not encompassed in power? Why is it, oh no, she's the powerful powerhouse lady and she's the feminine lady? Nero, what do you think causes like that?
No, I think it's that again, it's how we've been raised. We've been raised to believe that if you're a housewife, you're not powerful. If you're a CEO, and I mean, I know myself, if they're like, hi, this is Ginny, CEO of this, I'm like, hi, Ginny. Hi, this is Nolu, she's a housewife. Hi, Nolu. You know what I mean? It's like...
See, within ourselves.
Within ourselves, because we've been raised. So what I've been trying to do lately is like, even when they say, this is Jin's CEO, and I'll give a hug, like, and same treatment,
same reaction,
with the same reaction, because every woman, and I think that's what is femininity for me, is that how you define yourself as a woman, and are you confident in that? Because we're not taught confidence when we grow. We're taught to think power, think male.
And that's the thing that I think we're also trying to decipher and change, right?
And how genuine is your confidence if you're drawing it from a space that's not necessarily healthy, that's built on misconceptions around what power and success looks like?
Yes, I think it's conversations like these that will help kind of change the mindset around it. Because just for the fact that when you say powerful, you don't mean women, I've got a problem with that. Like, it can't be. So what is it that makes us equate masculinity? Where's our spice? We need that spice. So what is it that makes us equate masculinity and proximity to masculinity as power?
I think because we don't even see the space in which women originated from within the home as a place of power. Your motherhood is not seen as a place of power in raising your children, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. Your spaces that we own were never seen as powerful. So how do we then, and corporate and where men were in politics, wherever, we're spaces of power. So how do we now take who we are into those places, be who we are, but still change the perception? Because I think you and I had a conversation once before about whether we should buy into those misconceptions and use them to our advantage because we are creating perceptions about us, and certain perceptions will get us certain advantages. Or should we fight those misconceptions but then accept that we're most times not going to win?
And that's a tough one. Do you know what it is? Yes, we have to get into it, because here's the thing, right?
Sorry, that was the Zoom.
Yeah, we had a Zoom meeting and a conversation around it.
How we don't know all
I'm trying to let them in. So it's the question of so we know that there's misconceptions around femininity. We're trying to change it. We're trying to do better. But sometimes there are times where you can kind of use your softer side, your more feminine side, to get your way. So let's start, because she wasn't a part of this conversation. I'm going to actually ask her first, because she wasn't there, right? Do you ever find yourself using your softer, feminine, womanly...
What is typically seen...
Charms.
Your stereotype of what feminine is.
To your advantage.
So, like, if I think, guys, first of all, this is life. And whatever I need to use, I will use it.
First and foremost.
No, like, call it femininity, call it whatever. Womanly charm, my manly charm, whatever charm I have.
Whatever you need to filter for that moment.
I'll use it.
Yeah.
But obviously not, I don't think manipulation is good, but if it's if it's fair, I mean, they made an example about a swimmer. What is the world best swimmer?
Michael Phelps.
Phelps has long arms and long legs.
Huge feet.
Yeah, like
It
works for him. Sorry, I don't have those legs. I don't have those arms, so I can't be. Whatever I got, I will use my voice. I will use my look. I will use my education. I will use my motherly status.
Anything.
Or lack thereof. Whatever. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're being made to feel guilty about our privilege. It is a privilege to be a mother. It is a privilege to be a woman. And sometimes when you are being a woman, whatever that means for you, we're being made to feel bad. It's like, oh, now you're bringing your womanhood.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're brown. Oh, now you're using your brown skin again to win the argument. I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes. Brown skin gotta get me somewhere,
Sometimes.
I'm gonna sit. I can see there's already a segregation happening. I'm going to disagree. So from my side is, and I'm not saying it isn't the right thing to do from a vulnerability perspective I see it as, if we are fighting this fight, you either take me for who I am or it's not going to happen. So in the example, we used an example of getting a speeding ticket. I think we've all been there, right? Have we been there? We've been there. Yes, we have. I will say, I saw the eyelashes. Yeah, I saw the eyelashes flattering, and I will not. I said, give me the ticket. Give me the ticket. Give me the ticket.
And unfortunately, you know what? Yeah. From experience, and we're not talking about being like overtly flirtatious. You're not flirting with a police officer. Well, I don't know about you. I'm just saying for myself.
I wasn't.
Yes.
No, but like I mean, can you perceive that
being,
is though?
Yes, it's just being softer and nicer, and what would typically count as feminine. So you're like, oh my gosh, Booty, I was speeding. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Just take note who that is.
It's so hot outside today.
We might have to edit this out.
No, but you're just being really nice, because when you are really nice, you kind of disarm them, and that works. Yes. So it's not that I'm like sticking out my boobie. I'm not flirting, but I'm being really soft and nice, and it disarms them, and you never get the ticket unless it's something
I've
really
spoken myself out of situations when I just go, you know what, I do apologize. I see what I did wrong. Thank you so much. Give me the ticket. I won't go.
And then she ends up.
I've seen Sammy. If you go down the hallway, there's a page, Sammy.
I'm always
she does it perfectly. I've seen Tara.
You get great service.
You get better service.
Okay, but no, for that I've actually said to Neo, it's completely different discussion. If you treat someone humanely,
really
no.
treat people with dignity. It's a completely different topic. Yeah. But I think what my issue was with our discussion is that the one example I use is that keep this for a possible edit out.
No edit.
Many years ago, driving up from Durban, we get stopped 6 times.
Yeah.
5 times was me. 1 time my husband was behind the wheel. We got 1 ticket. It was the time that he got stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, but I do this very dumbed down thing. Yeah. And I'm like, because like men start to feel powerful when they have to be your rescuer. Oh, she doesn't know where the number is for the speed. Where do you see it? Was that what I was doing? Oh my gosh, my husband's gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
Now you play stupid, you play coy. Now we're fighting this, that guys, we're intelligent too. Yeah. We have things of value to add to conversations, but when the cop stops me, I'm too stupid to know where the numbers are. So I mean, like, am I perpetuating a bad stereotype about women?
Reinforce that stereotype.
Because he has to work as a police officer with other women.
Yeah.
And if he's buying into me in that behavior, it's because he believes that about us. Yes. So I'm not changing it about him. But at the end of the day, I saved myself 5 tickets, guys. Yes. 5 tickets. I won a hell of a lot of CCMA cases. Never lost one, guys. Never lost one. I'm just saying. Commissioners too, they like it when
you're just nice.
Make them feel stronger, more powerful, more intelligent.
Wow. You know what?
Do you see? So that was the question we were asking.
Okay, so where there's a line between this. So there is a middle ground.
Oh, but Jen is going pink, just like, Jen is like fuming there. There's fire there. She's like, no.
There's a middle ground. Okay, the middle ground between all of this is, yes, you don't want to further perpetuate and reinforce the stereotype that women are dumb, so you play dumb in situations. So we're like, okay, maybe you and I need to just kind of figure out a new strategy.
Yeah.
Here's the middle ground that I see. Sometimes it is about the waiter issue that you spoke about, the waiter example, where it's just all you're doing is you're treating somebody really nice, nice enough for them to see you as a person, like Ubuntu, like a personal connection, not just this is another person driving and speeding, but they start to have a different connection, a personal connection with you, and then they treat you better because they have a personal connection with you. So maybe we need to stop batting our eyelids so much
and being so stupid
and playing dumb, because that reinforces femininity.
Stereotypes
are dumber. And then on Jen's side, we just have to move to the middle ground, which is you're just treating people nicely, you're being kind, you're acknowledging them beyond just their job as well. You know, hi, Puti,
I can see you past your uniform.
You know, then they see you just past. I'm throwing another ticket out there, and I think that's the middle ground for that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nolu.
Yeah. So how got answers? Last question. You can answer that.
So that's exactly what I wanted to say from that side, is that people who know me will know that I love people. So when I'm out, I'm talking to the waiter, I'll speak to people in the queue at the bank. That's where my femininity comes in, because I am soft in a sense of not playing it down, but I am respectful. I look you in the eye, I speak to you, I converse with you. So I think, that's where the whole thing is. Find that middle ground. Let's not be counterproductive or but own your femininity.
I'm with you.
I love you guys. No, you're doing it again.
It's like meet me halfway. Meet me halfway.
Back to eyelids. Back to eyelids. So then the final question becomes,
kind of already.
And I know time flies when you're having fun with your best friends and eating yummy food. But okay, so I think what we can all agree on is we don't want to further perpetuate like negative stereotypes around femininity. So let's kind of change our little strategy and just make it more about Ubuntu and connecting with people, right? Instead of batting our eyelids and playing dumb and then making femininity and females look like dumb, right? Yes, you're good. You shook on it. Yes. So then the question becomes, you don't know.
I'm like, if your eyelids work for you,
let them work, but not when it makes us look stupid. Not when it makes females look stupid and dumb and silly, and
you're perpetuating the stereotype.
You're taking us backwards. Reinforcing it. So we can agree that we're no longer reinforcing it. We can do better. But then the question then becomes, how do you then own your femininity in a way that is more moving us forward, more productive, more positive? How do we own our femininity?
And I think also not wanting the masculinity, because for me, it's because we've always thought being masculine is the way forward. Yeah. But now we're saying femininity is the way forward, and we can own it.
Yeah.
It reminds me, and again, this is completely off topic, but just to give us some perspective of exactly what we said when we came out of being colonized, slaves, came out of apartheid, indentured labors, and we didn't have identities.
Sure, preach it.
So it was this whole thing of who are we as Africa, as a continent now? Because Europe told us, the colonizers told us who we are as a continent. Now we're trying to say, and I remember Vusi Tembakwayo saying, guys, while we're trying to find ourselves, Europe's moving on.
They've moved
on. So we've got to forget this. But perhaps that's what it's also about. Like, we've got to rediscover, redefine, what does femininity look like? What is it? Yes. And we've got to love it in ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
Because if we're not supporting each other and we're not supporting ourselves, we can't walk into spaces that we're dominated by men and own it. Because we don't know what we're owning.
Yeah.
We're going to adopt their culture.
That's why we adopt.
We've got to walk in with what we have. And we have a lot to add. We have a lot of value to add. And how do we even move forward as organizations, as countries, as societies, as tribes of people, if we all look like men? We all look like one thing. We're complementary. We were born and created complementary. Yeah. So we need to start redefining, rediscovering what is the complementary part that women bring in.
Yeah. I think also, you know how a lot of stereotype is like in the bedroom that women are slaves, or you know how it's viewed, how we are raised as women.
Patriarchy.
It's
a topic for another day.
Yeah, we must do that one.
Coming with it.
You know, so how do we then just own our spaces, I guess?
Well, I think from my side, if we're looking at, and I view femininity, again, we have very different views when it comes to how I view femininity, is that there's so much power in our femininity. And a thing, again, is that we wear various hats. Just because we have to wear many hats doesn't mean we have to change our femininity. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm in the boardroom, my femininity comes through in a certain way. When I'm in a restaurant, my femininity will come out in a certain way. For me, it's about how do I, because I have a daughter, she's 11, how do I teach her and nurture her to embrace her femininity in both outside, in the outside world, and with her husband? Because obviously we want to empower our girls to have really good marriages, really healthy relationships. And the fact of the matter is, because we feel like we've had a little bit of the men have sort of had a head start. We only started really being able to vote, finding our place in society, that I think we're still playing catch up on what does that mean. So for me, it's about our power. I don't know if I've identified it quicker than other people, or maybe I've seen it or felt it, but I know that femininity in the bedroom is a very powerful thing. When you look at, and you've, again, yeah, it is. It's how do we not use it? How do we embrace our femininity
I like that.
in the bedroom? Yeah. Because it's not a happy wife, happy life scenario. We joke with our husband, it isn't. Our husband needs to be looked after. And slap me, throw stones, I can handle it, guys. But there is a certain way where I'm not saying submit in a sense of a negative way, but use your femininity. This is where we bat our eyelids, girls. This is where we bat our eyelids. This is where we.
So we want to make him feel like a man in the bedroom,
but not in a counterproductive way. That femininity when you.
So uncomfortable.
The cue cards are not big enough.
I will keep quiet. Okay, and then what did you say?
And excuse the pun, counterproductive in the bedroom.
But what I'm saying is, it's a space where we do use that feminine side. So whether it's not saying that you're acting silly or stupid, you're embracing that beautiful. We have God created us so perfectly that a man doesn't see anything. We look at ourselves and go, oh God, a man sees the most beautiful parts of our body all the time. And there's a little bit of spice. So how do we embrace that how do we embrace that part of our femininity where that is a very powerful force? And how do we translate that and say, this is where we really know and own our space? How do we translate that into other situations? Oh, did I throw some more spice?
No, you know why? No. Now we're getting into the meat of the bedroom.
Yeah. I think the bedroom's a whole other topic. Yeah. Part 2. Join us for the bedroom.
Yes. We need to do a whole nother topic. But I do hear what she's saying. She's saying, because we've spoken about using our feminine power in a lot of different spaces, but actually we haven't spoken about it in a more intimate place, right? Yes. And it's easier to see where it works and doesn't work out there, but not when it's with your partner. You and your feminine energy versus his masculine energy, and how that works in a relationship and how that works even in the bedroom. So
how does it translate for the woman in corporate when she walks through the door and her kids run to her, and then when she goes upstairs and she's with her husband in the bedroom? How does it translate through those spaces?
Yeah. So should we have a whole different conversation about femininity, and not in the bedroom, yes, but also just in your relationship, in your intimate relationship, and how that translates, the masculine versus the feminine energy that you and your partner have, and how to embrace your femininity more.
I think also just like what we've just been addressing now, it's almost like femininity when you walk out, and how it's perceived. And now what we're saying is, can we talk about femininity when you walk through the doors at home. Because I must say, for me, those are two different people. And again, from what we've been speaking about, when I walk out, I'm like, hello, girl, go get CEO, yeah. And then I come home, I'm like, hello, my sweeties. And also because of how we've been raised. So I think that's what
this is a whole conversation. So it's good. We did well. We did femininity outside of the house. Now we're going into the household and into the bedroom. But that's another conversation. But yeah, really, we try to wrap it up as much as we can and discuss it as much as we can. We're all advocates for femininity and owning your womanhood, owning your motherhood, your wife, whatever role you play as a woman, whatever hood you're in. Girl, own your hood. Yes. So on that note, guys, we want you guys at home to also tell us, how do you own your femininity? What does it look like? What is femininity to you? Let us know. Let us know what you think. Share with us, please. Let us know what you think of the topic today. And let us know as well if you want us to discuss the bedroom a whole lot more and just the household and femininity when it comes into relationships. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, do it all. Tell your friends to come watch. And if you haven't watched, as Neo said, the previous episode, make sure you go back, watch the previous episode, because this is like, we're here and we're the hosts here, but you guys are our co-hosts back there at home. So thank you so much for tuning in. Anything else, ladies? We're done? Okay, now we can eat in peace. Okay, cheers. Cheers.